Hey guys, Joebizz34 back again with a special edition. It's a bonus edition of my extension of my Halloween vid for this year, 2022. Got some new surprises and things going on in the works that didn't get a chance to get in the vid in time for the Halloween vid. So this is sort of like an extension of that. It's sort of like a part two, but this is called my Joebizz34 16 A Nightmare Before Christmas special. So filming this shortly after Thanksgiving. So Halloween's in the can, Thanksgiving's in the past, and we're on our way to Christmas, the holiday season, New Year's, Hanukkah, all the major holidays that we end the year with is coming for everybody. So and a happy new year too. So I'm gonna represent all that in this video. And but you know, officially this is horror is always the thing to show, right? You know, for the most part. So this is no exception. So what I did here, I decided to have a little fun with this sculpt. So I think you guys saw in the other vid that I did, showing like the different Jasons that I was working on. The part 3, which I showed here in my Halloween vid this year. That's like more like a traditional part 3, right? And I got them with the pitchfork there. I had these extra sculpts done by One's Customs, right? So I have another variant with the bloody sculpt, and then he had done this one too that came, I had gotten all at the same time basically, which was the alternate look of Jason from part 3 that was, never, wasn't used. And it has a very unique look, and technically it was never technically used in the film officially, right? I mean, there's some photos of it, and there's some, there's images of it, and there's some evidence that they were going to go with this look originally, and then it was changed, right? So what I decided to do is I decided to have a little fun with the sculpt. And several years ago I was inspired by One's Customs. He did a lot of cool concept Jasons, and he had one that I had owned for a while called Mama's Boy. If you guys remember, I had that figure, and I did sell it regretfully, but I did need the money at the time. So what I wanted to do was I kind of wanted to honor that and kind of do something special with this Jason, where it's kind of like a spin on part 3, but a little more gruesome. He's on a bigger body. He's actually on an old Hot Toys Terminator 2 body that I had laying around, a spare. And, I wanted to make him bigger and bulkier, muscular, and, utilizing this more vicious, alternate, part 3 look that was abandoned. So basically I added a little more weathering to it to kind of match the rest of the look of this. Bloodied up, as you can see here. Did some blood splatter and some stains and what have you. Got this awesome weapon from Chris Yeast. And I had this sporting with the part 2 Jason that I had, but now I got him using it. Much more fitting, I think, for this type of Jason. Barbed wire right here that I ended up turning into sort of like a spin on him, using it as like almost like brass knuckles. I wrapped around his hand, which was cool. And shout out again to John M. Carr. He had given me that barbed wire with the part 2 Jason I had gotten from him. And I wasn't really displaying it with him, so I decided to kind of use it for this instead, which I think is pretty cool. Just to add a different type of personality, that kind of matches this more gruesome, almost vampire-ish kind of look, right, that they almost went with. And I added the hair. I wanted to kind of put a little more of my personal spin on it and kind of customize it further, so there is some hair there. As we know that there have been Jason's, looks in the past where he did have hair on his head, like the remake Jason and so on. And then use this mask, which is definitely the battle damage version of part 3. But again, One's Customs made it kind of unique and made it his own. So I think it goes good. And, it kind of does have the Mama's Boy look, I feel. Not taking anything away from One's, but I jokingly am, to honor that, I'm calling this, instead of Friday 13 part 3, I call this Jason 3XL because he's extra large, and I call this one Nobody's Boy because, as you can see, nobody's going to be able to control this mofo. So I'm pretty proud of him. I may do some more things with him, try to get him maybe like a custom base or something to kind of spruce him up, but just wanted to start off my vid showing this this bad boy. And I didn't have him done, or I didn't really have the concept in mind yet when I did the Halloween vid, so now here he is. All right, moving on. Okay, so not too long ago, I did show this spin on Halloween 2, Michael Myers, the Dick Warlock Halloween 2, the original 81 Halloween 2. And I had him sporting the Ryan Harper head, or Heat Harp as he also calls himself. And he does make excellent Myers sculpts, I have to say, especially part 2. He's probably the closest to the real part 2 look that I've ever seen anybody get. And he's working on a new one now that I am waiting for that looks like it's going to blow the socks off any other part 2 custom sculpt that's been done. This one actually I stumbled on by accident, actually on somebody selling it on Etsy, and I didn't even know it was like a part 2, but I kept looking at it, and other friends of mine said, that kind of looks like a part 2 Myers, not a part 1, but this person had put it together sort of like as a part 1 Myers. Really didn't identify any specific Myers, but looking at it very closely, it looked familiar, but then I actually went to Ryan himself and just asked after I had acquired this, and he said, yeah, he goes, that's based off of part 2, but, Warlock, but off of the way it looked on the H4 poster, the Halloween 4 poster. As you remember, even though his mask looked nothing like this in Halloween 4, they had used this mask to promote it on the poster, and I was like, oh crap. And, looking at the Halloween 4 poster again, it looks pretty dead on. He did really good with this. So it's kind of like part 2, but it has kind of like a different spin on it. Now, this is the original part 2. I had originally shown the figure, which also is a very good part 2, but as you could see, very different. And it's kind of weird because they both look great. They both look accurate for part 2, but yet at the same time different. So you know how each Halloween film, even with the same mask, with different scenes, different lighting, different moments in the film, it generated kind of different looks. So this is still a very good part 2, but I like this one even better. This one kind of really has that original Myers look, regardless of 1 or 2, and just looks really great as a topper. And then I took the coveralls that came with the expansion pack of Tots, Trick or Treat, that was supposed to be spruce green in the advertisement, but it was more of a gray. I think they decided to go more of a part 1 look with it. And I kind of dyed it, made it the spruce green look. And then I went a little further and customized it. I added the bullet holes there, as you can see, all 6. The one that always was shown on the arm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I shot him 6 times. So weathered it and kind of made it look like, kind of part 2. Added some blood to the boots. Have a nice part 2 stand that I've had for a long time. See, it says Halloween 2 Sandman. I got that one a while ago. I don't remember if that was One's Customs or Creations on Earth when I got the Myers from him years ago. But either way, it's a great stand, and it fits right in. And there's, of course, the scalpel, and that scalpel was bloodied and done by One's Customs. That I still had in the hands that he's sporting was done by one originally that I had on a custom part 2 he'd done years ago. So just kind of updated it on my own and made a nice kit bash out of it. But this head sculpt is fantastic, I have to say. And it, even as great as it is and as accurate as it looks, the new one he's working on, I think, is even going to blow this one away. But at the same time, just because it's going to have a different look from the part 2 movie. So there we go, my Warlock H2 kit bash. Very happy with the way that came out. And I'll do something with this guy too at some point. I'll make some more, because that's too good to waste as well. So there'll be a new kit bash figure that this head can go with at some point. All right, moving on. So right here we have another concept head sculpt Freddy and hat that was given to me as sort of like a bonus with a figure I bought from One's Customs a while back. I believe it was the Jason 8, if I'm not mistaken. But he threw this in here, and just a head, and I decided to kind of start to develop this into a full figure too. And it does kind of look like a kind of a concept of like the Freddy versus Jason Demon Freddy. So that's kind of what I'm going with here. So I, at some point I would like a new versus Jason, and I'm on the run. I'm on the list for the CC Creations David Tucker / Distress Labs / One's Customs Freddy versus Jason figure that I probably will get my hands on some point soon, and maybe this guy will sport nicely with him. And I had this sweater that I'd had a while back that kind of had that ripped and burned look, so it kind of goes better with this one. I'm not really finished with it. As you can see here, I have holes in the pants here, and I am going to match the pants to the skin color so it has the burned look like the hands and the head sculpt. So I have to finish him and kind of complete that there so it looks consistent with the rest of the figure. So he's not 100% complete, and I'm going to weather up the shoes better and, you know, kind of make everything jive a little better. But I did want to show you how I got so far and get him in the vid, because the head sculpt is outstanding, as you can see. And once again, One's Customs just never fails to impress, even with his concept stuff. This is really cool. I'll take the hat off. You know, he included with a burned hat look. It has like holes in it and stuff, as you can see there. And there's the head sculpt without the mask on. Look at that thing. Look how gruesome that is. And look at that. And he went with almost like a New Blood Jason 7 deal here, where you could see part of the jaw in the hole of the side of his mouth there. It's burned so bad that it burned through, and you could see his teeth on the back of his head. So it kind of reminds me of like New Blood Jason a little bit there with that. But look at that head sculpt. That's amazing, and that definitely deserves a suitable kit bashed complete figure to kind of, you know, show off that topper right there, that Christmas tree topper. So that's my concept in progress, not completely finished, like I said, with the below part of the pants. Demon Freddy, I would think, is the closest that this thing resembles. And I got this custom glove that he's sporting that is made of real metal. I got this off of, I think this was done by Creep Customs, and I got this off my buddy Chris Yeast, who sold this to me, and I used this glove with him. So far so good. I'll show him again down the road when I do complete him as a full figure. All right, guys, moving on. So here's a real quick one. I just wanted to show you guys, well, you've seen this many times. I've showed you guys this before, the One's Customs full figure Leatherface, Remake Leatherface. But it comes with the alternate head sculpt that I finally decided to sport on one of my other customs, or kit bashes, I should say, that I put together a while back. And I used to have the older version of the head on this one. And originally this inspired me, once again, from One's Customs to kind of do this as a full figure bash with one of the extra sculpts. And I had an older sculpt of this too, this version that I had on there. But man, he looks really cool with the newer version of this head on it that came with this set. So I just wanted to show you guys this really quick. The look and the you know, the stains and the blood and everything I went with was inspired by the way One had done at the time, you know, a few years back, his Remake Leatherface. And yeah, I kind of used that to kind of mimic a bit and try to make my own for fun. And it came out pretty decent. Came out pretty well. I mean, these were like the sideshow clothes and stuff, and some custom parts like the apron and stuff that I added to it. But man, you know, it just shows you when you have a good, as I always call the Christmas topper, right? The tree topper. Man, it could just make any kit bash shine. I mean, look at the details of that second sculpt. And I never really focused on that. And I kind of wanted to give that second sculpt its due now, because it's so much better than even though the older one. The older one was cool too. It still holds up. But the herring and the details on this one just blows the original one away in many areas, many points. I mean, the way he has the eyes kind of sunk in there. So you could see the eyes in there, but it's like you could tell it's like not just a head sculpt, but it's a head sculpt with wearing a skin mask over it. And that's the trick right there. So really cool. Kudos to One once again as part of this beautiful set that I still gush over, even though I've had it for a bit now. I have my extra, that's an extra severed arm there that I kind of added to the display for now, but the rest of it is all, you know, came with the set except for this bucket I got separately and had this with my other Leatherface, but kind of all works. And just wanted to quickly show that, and I kind of wanted to turn the attention on this one and just to kind of go over that head sculpt a bit. Really nice. Moving on. So check out this guy. Check this out. This is a cool, retro, nostalgic custom for a guy like me that grew up in this era. Lou Ferrigno as the Incredible Hulk. And in my mind, when I was a kid, this was the Incredible Hulk. That was it. It was a TV series starred Bill Bixby, who he played David Banner. They didn't even call him Bruce Banner at the time. They made Bruce's middle name. It was David Bruce Banner, as they said in the intro and so on. Whole story behind that from what I heard. But yeah, and this was Lou Ferrigno, which was basically just people know Lou Ferrigno. He was just basically a hunky, muscular bodybuilder that they painted green. No CGI back then, no Avengers, no high-tech Marvel Studios or Disney magic. Just a guy painted green with a torn shirt that they would switch from the Bill Bixby to Lou Ferrigno when he changed. But this is an awesome figure. The head sculpt is great. The likeness is there. The hair is good. The guy that did this, some guy on eBay was selling this, and he made another one that I guess sold, and then he made a second one for me. Very reasonably priced. It was not expensive. Didn't break the bank at all. I mean, it's pretty simplistic. Besides the head sculpt being unique, this is basically a Fison body that he, spray painted or airbrushed green or painted green. Different layers of green. He did a pretty good job at it. Did some ripped shorts, ripped pants, and a ripped shirt that you can pose on or off him. I prefer to keep the shirt on him as like he's transitioning, but you can take the shirt off. And it's a Fison body, painted green, but it's effective. The stand he threw in, which was nice, the custom stand, which is always a nice touch. And this is the funny part. He did the green slippers. There's a story behind that, and I remember from back in the day. When we were watching this series in the 80s, mostly we had picture tube TVs that you didn't pick up a lot of detail. And to protect his feet, what they did was a lot of scenes they had him wear green slippers to run around in, so he wasn't actually running barefoot, but still kind of gave the impression or the look that he was barefoot. And then there was close-ups where I think he actually had the green feet that you actually saw. So the feet underneath these slippers, you could take these off, and the feet are green. But he included the slippers, which is hilarious, because as people noticed later in life, once this show went on DVD and Blu-ray and so on, or you watch it like on HD televisions now, with a much wider, picture, a bigger picture, you can see a lot of the mistakes and a lot of bloopers and green paint coming off when he was fighting a bear, or like just really bad special effects that you really didn't pick up on as much back then. And you can clearly see he's wearing the green slippers in scenes now, when you're watching it in clear HD TV on a 60-inch plus television, where it wasn't really a big deal back in the 70s or 80s that you'd noticed. So it's kind of ironic and very nostalgic that he threw in that little detail, and that's cool. And I totally have the slippers on the feet, even though it kind of looks ridiculous, but that was how it was. So it's kind of cool. Give you a quick shot of the back of him, but he really captured it. This really does feel like a legitimate Lou Ferrigno Hulk. Simplistic but yet effective. I don't know if he did this head sculpt or if he got the head sculpt from somebody else, but his name is Rovo Toys on eBay, so take a look out for him. Maybe he'll do more of these, and if you like this guy, maybe you could pick one up in the future, or ask him to make you one, because he made one for me on the cusp after the first one sold. All right, guys? All right, moving on. All right, guys, so I wanted to shoot a little bonus footage here that I'm going to put in this Nightmare Before Christmas special. But this is like a crossover. I'm also filming this as part of my 66 Mobile Jazz Inc. review. I'm just adding this on as bonus footage because I actually got my hands on my Batman and Robin Hot Toys 1966 figures that I've had on display in Detox there forever, and I had a chance to pose them with the car before I pack the car back up for now. Until I have a proper place to store it. So before I put the car away, I just wanted to film this bonus footage and also to show my horror fan folks that are watching my special on the other vid that you'll see this part as well. Just not to repeat myself for the part of this being in the review vid, but this is the 66 Mobile done by Jazz Inc., juiced, as we all know. That did end up being licensed. Very nice box. It's upside down right now, but you can see there it is. And he actually was allowed to call it the Batmobile, and there's the DC logo on it, although upside down. But as you see here that I pointed out in my full review, it has DC, the Bat signet, and it has the WB logo. They did end up letting him license it, which was nice. And he'll be doing more of them for them as well, which I'm looking forward to. He did tease the 89 Mobile now, so the 89 Batmobile, which is one of my faves along with this one. So I'd be very excited to see what he does with that one, and the Batman Forever one that's coming. As well as he did the Justice League. He hasn't done the Tumbler, but he may do his spin on that too, even though Hot Toys has done it. because Hot Toys also did the 89 one, but he's going to tackle that as well. So this car is beautiful. As you can see, I'll put the lights on now so you can kind of see it in full glory one more time. There we go. All right. Pause this for a second. Okay, I switched my settings. I always forget to do that to full-on 60 frames per second 4K, so you can get a really good view of this. There's the Batman figures, and there's the Batmobile. Beautifully done. There's the front one more time. Okay, and there is the back end of it. You can see it's quite big, as 1/6 scale will be. There's the back engine light going. I don't have the flame on in the moment, and the back lights. Be careful with this piece here. I know somebody else along with me that sometimes this gets a little weak and comes off with the magnet. So I just reinforced it with crazy glue just so that it stays put. There is a magnet system on this. See, and now it's holding pretty well after I put the added glue. So not a big deal. As long as you reinforce it with some hot glue or crazy glue or something, it's an easy fix. All right, and when I pull it back off, it comes off like normal and everything's cool. All right, so there you go. But that is the 66 Batmobile. And there is Batman and Robin. Holy 1/6 Batman. Cool. Moving on. Now it's time for the main event. Oof, look at that. Look at the details of that. So let's start off things right here. This is the latest I just got from Once Customs with the diorama done by Paul Manzi, aka Distress Labs. This is a full DX figure set, Leatherflix as they call him, the Leatherface sequel that was on Netflix that continues from the original. And I gotta say, I love the figure better than the movie. I didn't mind the movie. I thought the movie was okay. I thought his mask was a little weird looking compared to the original. However, it looks really gruesome and awesome as a figure. And I think the look is growing on me. So I'm wearing a light on my head right now just for effect. So it's kind of a horror and spooky. There it is, Leatherflix. There we go. Okay, Distress Labs. Leatherface DX set number 2. There's the date. It was done in November of this year. Figure by Once Customs, diorama by DL, aka Distress Labs. Thank you. Paul Manzi. Beautifully. Beautiful. All right, so what do I have here? I have also Chucky. A burnt Chucky done by Once Customs. I got this secondhand off of, I did purchase it from Paul, from Distress Labs. And I'm glad he let it go. He had the other piece too, a different type of Chucky, but I missed out on that, but I was lucky to get my hands on this one. Look at the details on this one. This was the only look I still wanted. And oh my God, I mean, when you really look at this, it is incredible how detailed it is. Even video doesn't do it justice, but the light shining on it with the 4K video, hopefully you guys get the gist. But look at the details on the hands with the rotting doll skin away, and you can see like the metallic, like the robotic endoskeleton coming through there. Look at the dagger and the knife. Look at the outfit, the base it's on. Simplistic but yet effective. The weathering and the burn char on the coveralls and the shirt, really nice. Really nice. Look at that. Wanna play? I'm your friend to the end, Andy. Look at the hair. Here's the back of it. Like I said, very simple piece, but very effective. That is amazing. I'm very happy with this. Very happy with this. And honestly, this wasn't even the focus. Like the main focus was the other figures I'm showing here, but man, and here's the certificate for that. Okay, Not So Good Guy by Once Customs. Also done this year in 2022. Okay, nothing on the back, but that's that. Okay, and then finally we have here our movie that we love to hate, and we also hate to love. Can't help to love this movie, even though it had a lot of controversy to it. And I am a fan more of the producer cut than the theater cut. However, they both offered something unique and different. The Thorn Colt storyline that concluded in The Curse of Michael Myers, or The Curse of Myers, whatever it was called, Halloween 6. It was Halloween, The Curse of Myers. At one point, they were going to call it Halloween 666. Then there was Halloween 666, the producer's cut. I actually personally favored the producer's cut, but this figure is really nice, and this is the latest done by One's Customs. The coveralls, the head sculpt, everything is brand new. Look at the char on the hands, the burnt hands. Very nice. And the machete, or the surgical knife that he used in that scene. And this definitely was more orientated from the theater version, I believe. I don't remember if it was in the producer's cut also, but this is definitely from the theater cut. There's the hatchet saw there on the floor. Restricted area sign, property required beyond this point. And then he did the the x-ray machine monitor on the floor with the disconnected cable, broken glass pieces that he added for effect that are coming from the window that was done by Paul from Distress Labs. This is a kick-ass display. The details, the blood splatter, everything. Look at the blood splatter on the walls. Look at the detail on the walls. The light switch there with some more blood stains on it and so on. Very nice. And here's the cert. So here is the cert, the Curse of Thorn DX set. I like the video, the nice touch with the VHS look, right? From the time Distress Labs and One's Customs. And here we go, H6 Curse of Thorn, 11/22. Also 2022 this year of November, early run sample. DX set, figure by One's Customs, diorama number 1. Thank you, Paul Manzi. So this is an exclusive introduction to this future possible run or future sets that they'll be doing. Very nice, very nice. Comes with a clear, both of these dioramas come with a stand that you could put the figure on that's like this, that goes in the center of the stand. Same thing with Leatherflix over there. You can't see it, it's hidden well. It's behind him, see right there? So it's very subtle and hidden and provides them stability without, without kind of being glaring and ruining the realism. There's the back of the hair. Look at the hair, the way he did the, kind of gave that spiky look. He really nailed the look of the the H6 mask. The shoes, the details, there's the laces. That's a little blurry, just don't want to get it too close. I'll show you the back of him. He stands well even without the stand, by the way. They both are very sturdy figures. They stand very well even without. Look at that, that is phenomenal. And I like this diorama. It's a hospital diorama. I was thinking I could even use it for other movies, or you can use it for a few things, even H2, right? It could be Haddonfield Memorial. if you take away some of the glass and the other items, you can convert it to a different hospital diorama if you really wanted to. I'm going to turn the lights on now so you can see everything better. Had some fun in the dark, but hold on. I'll be right back. All right, so let there be light. There we go. So I have the light on now in the house, so you can kind of get to see the figures better. Getting back to this one here, I mean, look at the details, the phenomenal paintwork in this mask. Look at that. Look at all the details, the skin, it looks real. You can see like veins, and you can see like freckles and all kinds of stuff in the mask of obviously the guy he took the face from, right? Because it's not his face. And there's a gruesome scene towards the beginning of the film that you see how he acquires this mask and who he acquires it from, the face. And this figure is kind of making me want to see the film again. I was a little prejudiced towards it when I first saw it because I'm very picky that they've messed up a lot of Leatherface sequels, and I just kind of automatically assumed it wasn't going to be good. But I will say this one was pretty decent for what it is. The details on the back wall there, you can see the boarded up windows. I mean, look, this is all done by, the diorama is all done by Distress Labs. This is all Paul. And the plastic pieces on the tarp, I kind of had to fix them up a little bit. They got a little loose and disorderly in the packaging. No fault to Paul. But I basically put them back in place to make it complete. You can see behind it, it says, just like in the movie, it says theater, I believe it's like theater 4. Let me move this figure off for a second so you can see that. So there's the, well, it just says theater. Yeah, theater 4, I was right, there's the 4. So that was the backdrop. Look at the details here for a second. We can gush over the figure, but let's gush over Paul's work here for a second. Look at the detail and the stuff on the floor. The gravel, the dirt, the dust, all the residue that's on the floor. There's the alternate head sculpt. It comes with more than one head sculpt. I believe one will give a choice of like different types of alternate head sculpts, more bloody, more clean, whatever. I always choose the more bloody. And like I said, look at this. I mean, The only difference with this one's bloody, but it has like a closed mouth, right? The one that came on the figure has the grinning mouth, like the showing his teeth. Both phenomenal. Both, I mean, fantastic. I can't say enough about his work and the work that Paul did on this dial. Look at the water here. And the scene, it's not completely to scale, but, you know, makes the point. It represents nicely when he, you know, in the movie, if you've seen the movie, this is involved in the ending where he kind of falls in there and stuff like that. Actually, a really effective, cool scene, you know. So you got to see this film. If you're a fan of Leatherface, I'm not going to say it's the best sequel in the world. Definitely worth watching, though. But there's the more boarded up stuff, and then there's the tarp, some of the plastic tarping that he included. That, like I said, I had to kind of reposition and put back on the back wall and the pillars. You know, there's poles here. So looks really nice. That's a work of art just by itself. Okay, just by itself, that's a work of art. Again, you put it. This will make any figure look good. Seriously, but man, this is definitely. Look at this. I'm starting to gush on camera, and you know, when I don't do that too often, but when I start getting lost, I stop being entertaining as a reviewer because I'm just kind of staring and admiring the figure close up, especially with the camera lens. You know, you could pick up some details really, really close that the naked eye doesn't automatically see. But the detail, and I mean, look at the blood on the chainsaw. He matched everything up beautifully. The apron, it's really, really, really nice. So anyway, guys, that definitely is the topper to this video. Thank you for joining me for this bonus. This is essentially a follow-up or like a part 2 to my Halloween vid because these were supposed to be in my hands for that, which I didn't get them in time, but that's okay because this is Joebizz34's 1/6 Nightmare Before Christmas special, and other than them wearing Santa hats, it's all about the holidays. All right, guys, till next time, Joebizz34. Thank you, Paul, Distress Labs. Thank you, One's Customs. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Till next time, I'll be back with more reviews soon. Peace out.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy. And silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn, no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. It sucks when you finally feel like giving up. Oh God, no luck, everything feels like you're sticky stuck. I'm lost, handcuffed to the bed where I sleep, don't give a fuck. Can't stop, unplug, feeling overwhelmed, I think I've had enough. Gotta find a way to get some energy, gotta find someone who's a good friend of me. I need purpose to make it all worth it, I'm still searching and I'm still learning. I want a life that's filled with memories, not a life with regret in front of me. I need focus to keep me from hopeless psychosis if I keep moping. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough. I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me. But let's be really real, anxiety can foggy all this stuff. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough. Nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough.